Hi students, we're going to look at angles of rotations today. So let's look at these notes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take an angle. Let's pretend like this is like, I don't know, a 70-degree angle. And I'm told to put it on the graph. I'm going to put it in standard position. So the way that you do that is the vertex has to be located at the origin. Here's my graph, or my grid, if you will. And one leg has to be the initial side must lie along the x-axis going toward positive infinity. Then the terminal side will just be off of that, will be above the x-axis, if you will. So the angle is called theta. I'm going to label this very quickly. So this is what I want you to know, that the initial side will always lie on the x-axis, giving you theta. The terminal side will be above the x-axis, or it could actually be over here. But again, this is the initial side. Now remember, please, that when you talk about putting an angle on a graph, that the angle is considered to be moving, like it starts here and it's moving counterclockwise, because this is quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that they're numbered counterclockwise, and that's on purpose. If it's a positive angle, it is put in this position. Let me show you what I mean. If it's a positive angle, let's say that you have 120, and you have to do a positive angle. The initial side will be here, and of course 120 is 90 plus 30 more, and the terminal side will be there. So this is considered a positive 120, as opposed to a negative 200. If it's negative 200, it's not going counterclockwise, it is going clockwise. So the initial side would be here, but to show it's negative, well, that'd be 90, and that'd be 180, and it'd be about 20 more. It would look like this. So it really looks, it's, you know, some people call this a reflex angle, but this is my actual rotation. It's negative 200 degrees. So it's actually going clockwise instead of counterclockwise. So make sure you make notes of that right here. Now the reason, the next thing I want you to do is write down this. A reference angle for a given angle is formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. It must be acute. Let me give you an example. If I said, okay, I graphed this 120-degree angle, what's the reference angle? The reference angle is going to be made with the terminal side and the x-axis, and it has to be acute. So in other words, it's saying, what is the angle made by the terminal side and the x-axis? And that is, of course, it's going to make a supplementary, right? It's got to be 60 degrees. So the reference angle for 120 is 60. If I had, it has to be acute. Let's say that this was 200 degrees. And if it's 200 degrees, it goes, here's my initial side, and it goes like that. So if it says, what is a reference angle for a 200-degree angle? Again, it's made with the terminal side and the x-axis. It's right here. And how far away am I from the x-axis? And as you know, if this is 180 and this is 20, it's 20 degrees. So we're going to be doing some exercises with that. And so theta is the reference angle in these cases. Now they don't always use theta, but I wanted to list all the Greek letters for you here. If you want that, you can screenshot that and put your notes. And there's a reference where I took it from. And now let's talk about coterminal angles. These are angles in standard position with the same terminal side. So let's say I have 150 degrees. 150 degrees, here's my initial side and comes about over here. It is coterminal with 210. So I simply, if I had, negative 210, they're coterminal. They start in the same place and they end in the same place, but they are not the same angle. To find these coterminals, simply add or subtract rotations of 360. So let me show you. Let's say that you're given this and it says find angles that are coterminal with these, 100 degrees. Well, the least positive would be 460. All right, let me start over. So they give you 100 degrees and they say to you, okay, find what angles are coterminal. They want you to find the least positive. So I know that there's nothing less positive than 100. If I add one full rotation, that would be 460. Because if I had this 100-degree angle right here, the only thing that's coterminal with it that's positive, right, is to do 100 plus 360 more. Do you see how that works? So if I want the most negative, I have 100, I have this 100 degrees, and they say, well, find a negative angle that's coterminal, that has the same initial side, the same terminal side. You would say, okay, well, this is 100 minus 360. So that's going to be negative 260. It's kind of simple. When it gets hard is when you have something that's already over 360. So if they said, okay, you have a 500-degree angle, and I know you're saying 500 degrees is only 180. Yeah, it's actually going around a couple of times. So since this is greater than one rotation, you can subtract 360 and you still have a positive angle. So it'd be 140. And the only way you can get to a negative angle is to start at 500, subtract 360, and you go, oh, well, that's still positive. It's 140. Then subtract another 360 and keep going. Okay, I'm going to stop now because I'm at 7 minutes. We're going to go over this tomorrow. Don't worry about these notes right here, and you guys take care.